Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, I've got this mic adjusted well enough here. I always have to say that. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. Let me know if I'm over modulating. I'm still out and about, and so I have to kind of go with what I have. Hello, everyone, as you come in. Let me go back and check and see how we're doing here. And golly, I've already got some of you folks in here. Hello as you come in. I wish I could address every one of you separately, but know that I'm glad that you're here, especially for this broadcast. I wasn't planning on this until last night when I saw something on Twitter that absolutely is fantastic, and it's been a long time coming, and we're going to talk about that. So I won't waste a whole lot of time other than to say that I was actually out yesterday making a video by a pond telling President Trump that there's a plague. And I know some of you don't appreciate the fact that I talk scriptural stuff and mix it with political, but due to the circumstances, the way things have been progressing, I thought that was necessary. And it's not politically correct, as you know, my subject matter hardly ever is. And on top of that, I come down pretty hard again on Trump for some things. And I didn't know if I should put it up last night. And I was working on it, and it finally got uploaded. And I was ready to hit publish, and then I thought, no, I've got to wait. I don't know why. I have to wait. I had to do the video. I felt that was important, but all of a sudden I felt I had to wait. So I put everything down, and I went over and I got on my Twitter. Want to make sure the sound is okay. Hopefully the sound is okay. All right, maybe you can let me know. I just don't want to overmodulate because this microphone has a real problem with that. So I sat down and I looked at my Twitter, and lo and behold, there it was. And I want to show it to you. Okay, is the sound okay? Oh, by the way, and that's the reason why I'm wearing the Hillary for Prison shirt. Of course, this is from 2016. Sound is good. Okay, I'm gonna head back up here so I can see what's happening. My Hillary for Prison T-shirt. I'm traveling, so I don't have. I have a shirt with an American flag on it, but I couldn't find it because I didn't bring it. But then I saw this in the bag, and I thought, man, I forgot to take that out. And this was great because this says everything that I'm going to talk about today and that we're going to talk about. Sorry, I'm holding this away too far. So let's get to it. I want to show you this tweet. And I think it was Border Narcotics that made this meme. I'm not sure if it was them. It may have been, it may not, I'm not sure. But you can look in the low, and as you look at the screen, if you look at the lower left-hand corner, this is, Trump put out two tweets last night at about 6 p.m. Eastern time. Actually, it was about 8 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. my time. And I didn't see it until 1 a.m. my time in the morning. But let me blow this up so you can see what we're talking about. Look at that. Whoops, I went too far. Sorry. Let's get it all in here. Okay, there it is there. All right. Look at this. This is incredible. And I read through it and I was stunned. So I think Border Narcotics made this wonderful black and white picture meme with the quote from President Trump's tweet last night. Two tweets. Let's read it together. As I learn more and more each day, I am coming to the conclusion that what is taking place is not an impeachment. It is a coup intended to take away the power of the people, their vote, their freedoms, their Second Amendment, religion, military, border wall, and their God-given rights as a citizen of the United States of America. And I just went, hallelujah. I mean, I know that sounds kind of over the top, but how long have we been talking to him about that he's just the symbol of what they're trying to do? They see him as a symbol of us. And they got to take him down so they can take us down. Okay? And we're really the end target in all of the things he finally says there. Now, back when he first started running, you remember he went on Alex Jones. And Alex Jones interviewed him, right? And President Trump said he was going to do all these things, and that he was hoping that Alex would approve and that would appreciate what he was doing. And of course, but Alex said of him that he knew as much as Alex did or more. Do you remember Alex saying that? And I know people said, don't talk about Alex Jones. Well, I'm sorry, guys. If you don't like that, go somewhere else, because Alex is still a major player in today's political atmosphere. So the fact of the matter was, if he did know, he thought that it wouldn't make any difference. But frankly, I don't think Trump knew as much as Alex gave him credit for. And so a lot of us have been, there's Gigi Sims 1, The Last Refuge, Colonel Schaefer, of course myself, Alex Jones, Matt Bracken, Craig Sawyer, American intelligence media, although they pat him on the back more than they really call him out for his inactions. Dan Bongino, again, Hannity is a back patter rather than trying to say, hey, Trump, get your gears in. And I've been hard on him, and I know. And frankly, I really kind of gave up in June, as most of you know. I just couldn't handle the fact, especially with the red flag laws, and when he did that, and some of those other things. So my big push from the very start, after I saw what he did with Clinton, hence why I'm wearing this celebratory shirt today, because maybe we're back on course. Barr, still not sure what he's up to, but apparently Trump is telling him, hey, you go out and get this information, and he's getting flack for it because, of course, it's going to uncover the corruption and the crimes and the sedition and treason of a lot of people in this country, both Democrats and Republicans, politicians, bureaucrats, law enforcement, lots of law enforcement, ladies and gentlemen, and intelligence. As I've said, the motto of my channel, the intel community is our most dangerous domestic enemy. I have been pushing that and pushing that and pushing that in one form or another for 30 years. And finally, Trump wakes up. So hence, last night I was thinking, gosh, I'm going to do a live stream right now. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. And I thought, no, I'll just go ahead and wait until the morning. But I didn't sleep very well because this is almost like a party for me. I don't know how it is for you, but this is absolutely fantastic. So this whole whistleblower thing, as I've already talked about, not in any depth, because you can get all the details elsewhere very well from people like Dan Bongino, and The Last Refuge, and some others. Technofog, if you all have Twitter, you can go to those places. But Dan Bongino at danbongino.com has been covering it pretty well. The whistleblower, of course, it was a hit. It was an intelligence community hit on President Trump in corroboration with members of the Democratic Party and probably some rhinos. As I meant, you'll see if you go along with me and tell me to put this video up, because it's about 30 minutes out at this pond where I talk about these things. And one of the things I talk about is this Bushite who came out either yesterday or the day before and said that the military should be taken away from Trump because Trump is a danger and he should not be commander-in-chief of the military, which basically means remove him by any means necessary. That's what that really means. So I don't know what finally woke this guy up, President Trump, that you see in the picture there. But, and again, I've got to go around. I'm sorry I bring all this information in, but these kinds of things are incredible to me. I'm not sure that this meets the criteria, but there are ancient writings that talk about a leader in the last days. Trey Smith has talked about, that it would be this latter day times Cyrus, king of Persia, who helped the Jews get back Jerusalem. I'm not sure that I want to go that far, although I see a lot of parallels. But it does, for the scripture that says about this leader in the last days, but it will say that he will repent in front of the whole world. Now, one of the things President Trump has said is, I don't have to repent. I've never done anything wrong. at least as he's been president, he has reneged on some of his promises. He didn't go after Hillary. The border wall is, it's getting there, but it's really trembling. His stand on the Second Amendment, that he would be firm on the Second Amendment, that hasn't been the case the way it needed to be. Nowhere near the way it needed to be. As a matter of fact, he's actually infringed on it and threatened it, both with the bump stock ban and then the red flag laws, and then bringing the Silicon Valley in to do the surveillance on us to see if we're angry in our homes so that our weapons would be taken away before we could do anything wrong. Like, who's going to make those kinds of judgments? That's why we have the Fourth Amendment. Nothing will be taken from you without probable cause, right? Issue a search warrant upon probable cause, and then you get to adjudicate it in a court of law. That's how it's supposed to work. And any runaround that is a runaround against the Constitution and the Fourth Amendment. And that's not a weakness in the Constitution, because what we're trying to do is hold down the government. If the people have the right to protect themselves, which they do, it's a God-given right of self-defense. We don't need the government to take care of that, as I've talked about with Trump before. He doesn't need to protect us from each other. He needs to protect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That's what his job is. So let me go back here. I'm gonna shrink that down. You've had enough time to look at that now. I wanted to celebrate. I really did. I was just amazed at that, and I hope you are too. So. Please, if you have Twitter, go on at realdonaldtrump.com, at realdonaldtrump, and tweet him and tell him how happy you are that he's finally seen that this attack is against not just him, but as we've been saying all along, it is an attack against the entire constitutional republic and the people. That's really what it's about, because we're what they want to subjugate. If they couldn't buy him off, and it's looking like that might be the case, and then they go to attack him, of course it's to take away the leadership from us and to disappoint us and to frustrate us, which it has done. I don't know about you all, but as you can tell from the last 3 years as I've been doing this coverage with what Trump is doing and what he's done and what he hasn't done, even more importantly, I've become very frustrated. Now, I'm going to answer some of your questions this morning. I'm certainly going to do that, but we can't rely on just one man. It is us, and I see somebody that's saying that, and I agree with that 100%. The most important thing is that we have the law of God, the Spirit of God in our hearts and minds. That's the most important thing, and I realize that. But, and I'm not saying that God can't, because you've heard me quote Malachi before, where God will send the sun with healing in its wings. And I've talked about that sun not being Jesus. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about Shemesh, the sun, the actual thing you see in the sky. There'll be some kind of a transmission that'll awaken his true followers, okay, in some way. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail about what I think that is. But God could certainly do all this on his own, but he uses men to do it. It's an opportunity. It's a school. And it might very well be that Trump, going back to this thing where I'm talking about he's going to repent, this latter-day leader will repent, might see and I'm not talking about his personal weaknesses, okay, because those differ from person to person. I'm talking about the leadership, okay. In the last days, God is approaching the problem with nations. He took care of the individuals a long time ago, okay. It's nations now, and how, that's why I say a lot of the metaphors of men in the scriptures might actually be talking about nations, okay? But in this case, there is an individual also, apparently, and if Trump has finally realized that he's been negligent and that he's been too egocentric, and has now realized that the American people are in danger of their lives, their fortunes, their God-given rights, that the government's going to renege on the contract, which is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and take those away from him. If he's finally figured that out, that's a big step, because obviously he's been weak in those areas, and I've called that out before. So what I'm going to do here, hopefully I don't lose my microphone. I'm going to step out of the picture for just a second, because I do have my Morning Joe, as they used to call it in the Army. So I'm going to have a little bit of this. I'm going to thank these people here for giving me this. They heard I like caramel coffee. So they went and got some just for me. Like I say, I've been moving around a lot. The background here is dark, so the lighting in here probably won't be as good as it needs to be because the camera will try to overexpose me. So I'm probably glowing a little bit. Matter of fact, I can tell I am. So I turned down the lights as far as I could with the hope that it wouldn't interfere with the live stream transmission, because if the light's not right, it can cause some problems in that. But it looks like it's doing okay. So I'm very, very happy about what's happened here. However, of course, he almost immediately received flack. And I want to show you one of those because this is important. And I'm going to put this up to the camera. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see if you will. I'm going to change back to my other screen here. I know this is aggravating. I'm a one-man show, so it's not like you. I can always do this just the way I need to. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna. Can you see who that is? Dang it. I wanted to upload it this morning, but I didn't see it until too late. If you can't see that, I'm going to tell you who it is. Kamala Harris. The one who, I mean, literally, she got where she is on her knees. I mean, seriously, that's how it happened. I know people in California that know the whole situation completely. What she did, how she was exposed also by Tulsi Gabbard on how she handled her criminal cases, especially against blacks, and what she's done, how she kept innocent people in the system, even in prison. A very bad woman. I consider her evil. Actually, I do, and I'll say that, and I'll even risk getting, thrown off of Twitter for that. If they don't throw me off for this one, they'll probably throw me off for the other one that I'm talking about that is actually uploaded. I just haven't made it public yet. But that's going to tick YouTube off and the leftists as well. But let me read to what Kamala Harris says. So Trump sent out that tweet where he says, as I learn more and more each day, I'm coming to the conclusion that what is taking place is not an impeachment, it is a coup intended to take away the power of the people, etc. Okay? This is what Kamala Harris says. She's addressing Jack at Twitter. Hey, Jack, time to do something about this. Do you see? Do you see? They really do want to take your rights. They want to take everything from you. We're the end target of all this. We are the grand prize, and they want to destroy us. The leftist Marxists are our enemies, and they have infiltrated us from top to bottom for 30 years, maybe longer. Now, the mindset of tyranny and authoritarianism has always been amongst us. Even individually, we all experience it in our lives, in our own hearts and minds from time to time, because we have both good and evil in us. We're created that way, and that's not a bad thing. What's important is that the good side prevails, and sometimes the good it will disguise itself as evil, and vice versa. And so these are things that we're learning in this environment, in this life, that are critical for our development. And they're painful. They're very painful. Losing loved ones, not just by death, but by disagreements and things like that. This is difficult. This whole place is difficult. It's like nothing we've ever experienced before, I guess. And yes, I do believe we've experienced something similar before. I've said that the other world, that we're just a mirror image of that. And I know a lot of people think that's Luciferian. It's not. And I've already told you that. Jesus said it himself, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." That's the same thing as the Luciferian concept of the as above, so below. It's just that it's twisted with those people, and you see what they do. So, at any rate, I didn't go on last night. It was hard for me not to. I had a hard time sleeping, and then this morning I hopped up and I said, I asked the folks if I could have a little spot to do this. I've actually used this small area before. But set it up a little differently this time, and I just had to tell you that I think Trump's finally got it. I think he has finally got it, and I want to thank him. If he finally just woke up and he's repented of his egocentrism, his egotistical problems that wouldn't allow him to see that he's not the only target in this. I mean, he's kind of said it in the past. He says, I'm gonna protect your Second Amendment rights. I'm gonna get you economically back on your feet and all that. So those are real nice things to say, but when it came down to it, it really wasn't this type of a statement. And I think he's serious. So the Democrats, the leftist Marxists, the people in the FBI, the Department of Justice, the Department of State, even in the DOD, who have been involved in this, trying to take over. Well, basically, they think they are the government, and that because they're the know-it-alls, that the elected government can't function and tell them what to do. Which really means, of course, as Trump has pointed out, that they say that the people can't govern themselves. So it's all been a farce for a very long time. I'm not saying this is going to turn around overnight. They're going after Trump. They're coming after us. If you disagree with them, you've seen what happens. They hit you with bike locks. They hack your bank accounts. They file lawsuits against you. They spit on you in public. They won't allow you to speak. They want to take away your guns. They're finally admitting that, all of it. Every gun is an assault weapon, right? And that's why I don't make that differentiation between a semi-automatic and assault weapon. It doesn't matter because the Constitution guarantees us that we can have those things. All right. So at any rate, that's all I really wanted to say this morning. Let me check my deal here and see if there's anything else that I want to bring up, and then I'm going to go to chat. And I'm going to mention again the video that I have waiting that's not been published yet. It's going to be harsh for some people, because I do talk about things that are politically correct that I don't support and that I think are going to destroy us. I don't have any hatred towards people, but the things that are happening now in our country, as anybody who has been with us knows, it's dangerous, and it leads down a road that we don't want to go. We've seen it before in history, and we just can't allow it to happen. We just can't. If we do, God's going to leave that on us. I mean, he's not, there are scriptures that talk about things like when the wicked rule, the people mourn. In this video that I'm going to put up, if you guys, and I'm going to tell you a little more about it when we get to the chat. If you decide that I should put that up, it's going to say, look, you've heard the old saying, the people get the government they deserve, right? We've become a very wicked, evil nation. We're complacent when evil confronts us. We don't try to change it, and I talk about that, like the babies being killed for their organs, just as an example, or them shutting down our free speech and the government not doing anything, trying to turn around the election, taking control of our children in the schools, forcing vaccinations, forcing them to spout un-American, unconstitutional concepts as if that's what they should support. Academic freedom is used as an excuse to subvert our minds and our hearts, because we're not allowed to teach those things anymore. We're called bigots and racists and other things if we do. So we're in a real spot where, and then we're supposedly a republic, right, with democratic type things where we vote for our leaders. So really the people are responsible for what their leaders do. And you'll see me talk about that in the video a little bit. So we need to change. We can't be complacent anymore. I do these videos, and I've been out. You've seen me out on the road at different events and things. I haven't just been, a desktop warrior, a keyboard warrior. I've actually done other things, but I've done those things also throughout my entire life. Really starting in high school, but it really got big after I got in the Army and did some other things, and it became more vocal about what I was seeing. So I have been active, even if you don't understand that. And I'm not saying I won't be again, but President Trump does have to lead the way. We need the cover of the president, okay? We really do. Otherwise, you'll be considered an enemy of the state, which you will be considered even when you support him, as you have seen. But we at least have to have that competent, what they call competent authority cover to act. You don't want to act individually. You don't want to act on your own. That's what they want you to do, so that then they can pick you off one by one. And even in a situation where you act as a large group, if you don't have the cover of competent authority, they'll pick out who they think are the leaders or who they want to make examples of, and they'll go in as cowards in the middle of the night and take you. That's what they do, and we've seen them do it. We saw it with Roger Stone, for example. And there are a lot of other examples that I won't go into now, but they're certainly there. Okay, we're going to go to chat. I've been talking too much, but I just wanted to say those things. My computer here is in a rather precarious spot. So I'm going to have to be careful how I do this, and I might have to put my glasses on. I've been staring at screens so much lately. It really does start to affect your vision. So that's another reason why I go outside in the wilderness a lot. I get around the trees and the mountains and the streams and the lakes, and I'd like to get to the beach more often. I haven't been to a beach in a long time. Yeah, you like my shirt, everybody? Again, this is to celebrate Trump awakening, that he should never have said that the Clintons are good people. Remember when he said that right after he's elected, and he was asked if he was going to prosecute the Clintons, and he goes, well, I don't know, they're good people. And I flew off. I got so upset because this shirt was one of the things that pushed him into the office. So I'm wearing it because I think there's a renewal in his understanding that the people like Hillary, like Obama, like Eric Holder, like Comey, like Stroke, like McCabe, like Loretta Lynch, like Brennan, like Clapper, and we can keep going on down the line, right? They were after us. They were after to take away the real United States of America and supplant it with a Chinese model. That's what they're about. And there are plans that I've talked about from the 1800s that told about how they were going to do this. That early on, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't something that happens overnight. They think ahead by decades and centuries. And they knew how they were going to take this thing down, and they followed that plan. That's why I recognized it, because I could see it. Kind of like Alex Jones says, he reads their white papers and he can see what they're up to before they do it. He's not a prophet in that sense. He's just read about them. He's used their own work product to figure out what they're about. Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley, for instance, things like that. John Holdren's Econoscience, I forget the exact name of the book, but about poisoning the water and making the population subservient, and then doing population control and depopulation. Bill Gates with his wanting to spray, the stratospheric atmosphere injection program, which we know as chemtrails. It's real, and now they're admitting it. And we've been talking about this for how long? Okay, so in other words, I know I'm really kind of jumping around a lot because I'm just really excited. I'm hoping. See, we need to see McCabe in handcuffs today. We need to see Brennan and Clapper in handcuffs today. Now, if Barr is for real, if he's actually doing what Trump is telling him to do, God, I hope so. I pray so. He is, in fact, cornering these foreign governments into what they've done that really did illegally interfere in our election and in the constitutionally protected God-given rights of the American people. And that would be an attack on us. That's an act of war. Do you understand that? And it would be perpetrated, it would be encouraged, forced by traitors in our government at the highest levels and all the way down. I'm still maintaining, I don't care what Hannity says, that no, the FBI and the IC don't have 99% good people. There's a war going on there, and I talked about that war back when I did the Boston bombing massacre expose, I guess you would call it. It was even going on then. And that's when they finally, I think, got the final grip on getting the good guys to kind of either go totally underground or to back off altogether. Okay, all right, let's go and see what we have here. All right. It's still just talk, never any action. I think this is different because this impeachment process he's now realizing is a coup. It's not an impeachment. It could just be talk. Oh, don't think that I'm just throwing all of my concerns out the window now and I'm not going to be watching. Okay, I am. But I think this is a good development. Could it be another placation? Perhaps. But they're going to kill him. And I don't think that's a joke. They're going to kill him. They're going to kill his family. They're going to kill a lot of us. I can see it. If you can't see it, even if he was complicit to some degree in this, even if that were the case, what does the bad side do when you sell into them like that and you're powerful, even when you're not powerful. But what do? They take you out because you're competition. I think he's finally realized that. That's what I mean about this repentance thing. Don't kid yourself. I'm not taking my eyes off of him. I'm going to keep my eyes on what he does. He still has that First, Second, and Fourth Amendments. Those are paramount. I don't care what anybody else says. It's more important than anything else he can do. Okay, Amber was actually found guilty. Justice for a change. What's your thoughts on that, Roy? Amber Geiger. Well, let's. I'd have to look into that. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what that's about, but I don't want to say too much about it because I don't know the details. So I'd be leading us down the wrong road there. Okay, Hopkinson. Oh my God, Roy, thank you. I've been tweeting that all day yesterday. You made my day. Yes, thank you too. Trump is deep state and is a Freemason. Look. I've told you before. You could have considered me deep state. I've never been a Mason, but I've had Masonic lessons. I know about them. I know the details. I rubbed elbows with the CFR. Look, sometimes the heroes wake up in the organization that they're in and then become heroes of the people. That happens. A good example in Scripture is Moses, who was, in Pharaoh's court. He was a prince of Egypt to go in and become the Pharaoh. And he woke up. And he stood against it. Look at William Binney, who was in the NSA. Just because you're in there, just because you rub elbows with these high society people in these different organizations, doesn't mean that you can't wake up or that you weren't there to learn the bad stuff about them so that you could fight them. So I don't want to hear this Trump is deep state and a Freemason stuff anymore, okay? First of all, you need to provide evidence. I guess I've already done that, right? The point is, it's worthless to say that, okay? If you want to, if you just want to impinge somebody's honor and integrity or whatever by doing that, it's wrong to do it, okay? Just don't do it. And I agree. Grago, Trump better take some action or they will take him down. Absolutely. Now this Bushite that came out and told, who tweeted it out, and I guess he's been interviewed, also said, I think Maria Bartiromo actually brought this up first. He said that he can't remain as commander-in-chief of the military because he's talked about a possible civil war. So he needs to just be taken out in whatever means. That he can't be the commander over the military anymore. And as I said, I think they said that because maybe they realized that most of the military is still behind Trump. And I have called for the military to be involved in the raids with the proper, civilian law enforcement authority, the marshals or whatever. Raid the CIA, the Department of Justice, the FBI, the Department of State. You've heard me say that. So I'm guessing that they really are ready to take him out. Do you see what I'm saying? And they also realize that the military would follow him, I think. I'm not certain of the upper brass of, as I've said before, colonel and above, primarily the flag officers, the generals and admirals. I don't trust them. But the rest of the military, possibly. They've had a long time to bring in the same type of people they put in the IC to get those in the military. Okay, so I'm not completely comfortable with that, but apparently the Bushites and the neocons, the Trotskyites, and the leftist Marxists are concerned that maybe the military really would do what he would command them to do. And in an insurrection, he has every right in the world to use the military on American soil. Don't let them tell you that he doesn't, because he does. Okay. All right. Lauren Lorenzo, you wanted Hillary. Do people not know how to read? Do they not know what this is? This is the shirt that came out against Hillary that InfoWars put out in 2016. It says Hillary for prison, not president. Hillary for... Where have you been? Who is this? Lauren Lorenzo? Where have you been? Get up to speed there, okay, Lauren? I think you need to get up to speed. Read it again. Hillary for prison, not president. Oh my gosh. Read last again. So he says stuff like this, but takes no action, no arrests. I agree. I'm still cautious, but hearing what's going on, seeing what he said, could it be another put off? Of course, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is for real. I think up till now he thought he could compromise, negotiate, reach across the aisle and shake hands with these people. I think he's finally realized that he cannot do that and he has to fight. And he needs to start grabbing some of us under Article 2, Section 2, saying, come and help. He needs to do that. I don't think he will. You know, there's some other problems with that, but that's what he needs to do. And a lot of us are here ready to go. I told you I would go in a heartbeat. Okay, Trump is the great deception. You've heard me say that that's a possibility, but I'm also referring back to these ancient writings that talk about this latter-day guy who will repent. So we'll watch and see. Again, I don't trust him 100%, but this is a really positive thing that he said this. I mean, he could be, think about this. Kamala Harris is basically telling Twitter to take away his Twitter accounts because now he's an insurrectionist against the establishment. Do you see that? And of course, we are considered insurrectionists against the illegitimate. See, they consider themselves the legitimate government. They took it away. They're not. They're the criminals because they are operating outside the constitutional law. They'll spout the Constitution like Kamala Harris will all the time and Nancy Pelosi, but they don't follow it. They defy it every chance they get. They subvert it every chance they get. Yeah, I agree. Charette, how do you say it? Enough defense. Trump needs to shift into offense rather. Pretty sure he has all the dirt he needs to start arresting them traitors and seditionists. Judicial Watch, that's why I've been saying that I don't know what Barr's doing going on this. I mean, it's probably not bad to start going and finding out about these leaders and these ICs in these other countries to kind of, put it all together finally. But I do believe that there should have been arrests at this point. Alex Jones was saying that McCabe is indicted. I don't believe that. I won't believe it until I see him in bracelets. But that does have to happen. Again, let me read this to you, to those who miss it. This is a 2016 shirt from InfoWars saying that Hillary needs to go to prison. Hillary for prison. All right? Again, that's why I'm reading this. So, yes, Trump has got to do it. Get Trump out of the picture, Roy. No, I won't do that, Truth Always. Yeah, okay, I agree with you, Bellicose Hyperbole 737, who says the test of the Second Amendment will be the true acid test. Exactly. That's why I was so frustrated with the bump stock ban, the way he reacted to the Las Vegas thing, especially when he knew that the Las Vegas thing had something to do with the Saudi civil war and some other things, ISIS and some other things. And I'm not pretending to know all the details, but I was involved in the investigation far enough that I know that it wasn't just simply Paddock up there shooting people, and that's how Trump reacted to it, and that's not what it was. And to use that as a basis to take bump stocks, to pretend like he's doing some action. That was the first infringement I saw him do on the Second Amendment, and then, of course, now the red flag laws and the surveillance by the Silicon Valley to find us crazy people, right? Okay. So, yeah, he's got to fix that. He's got to fix it. Yeah, okay, thank you for bringing this up. Yes, I actually bring this up in the video that I'm talking about loading up after this, if you guys think I should, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it at that point in time. I was very upset when I saw that he congratulated the People's Republic of China. The Communist Party is basically what he did. He congratulated them on their 7th anniversary, and I nearly lost it. Do you realize? Because, and I make a point of this in the video that I might upload, where when he said that Hillary was good people and he wasn't going to prosecute her, is along the same lines of congratulating the People's Republic of China, the Communist Party, for its 70-year anniversary. I wanted to stick my finger down my throat and throw up. That's the kind of stuff. I understand maybe the diplomatic necessity of saying something about, that type of a thing for diplomatic, political reasons, but he went too far. He could have just ignored it altogether or said, well, I don't know what he would say, because I sure as hell wouldn't celebrate the anniversary of a government that has killed hundreds of millions of its own people, continues to kill people and take their organs. The whole bodies, and I've talked about this before, the bodies exhibit that went around, where they had those plasticized bodies that had been dissected and then put up on display. Those were Falun Gong, by and large, that the communist government in China had killed and put that out there. And that's why I wouldn't go see it. And for Trump to congratulate them on their anniversary, the 7th anniversary, was disgusting. Okay, that's another mistake he made, as far as I'm concerned. Diplomatically, I can understand why, but he didn't have to say it the way he did. He should have found some other way to say it, because that makes him look like, weak again. You know what I'd do to the Chinese? I'd say, see what you're doing in Hong Kong? This is what you are. I'm not wishing you anything until you straighten up. I mean, he says it to Iran. Now, I know China's a big part of the economic situation in the world and all that, and I know they're powerful, but they're evil. Okay, the communist regime there is evil, and I was upset about that. So thank you for bringing that up, Lorraine George. I appreciate that. It wasn't Lorraine George. It was Janet We the People. Thank you. I meant to talk about that anyway. Okay. Yeah, now Trump does play on people's emotions, the Watchmen news. That's why I said I realize that. But this latest attempt at what's going on, I mean, this whole new impeachment effort on this made-up situation with the whistleblower, it is a CIA intelligence hit. It is a hit on Trump. I think they went too far this time. If they had left it where it was, he may not have changed. He may have, like I said, like you're saying, maybe gone along with it if he was placating us. But now, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's stepped over that threshold at this point. Yes, I'm going to keep watching him, but I think something has definitely changed. And Storali Mistrial, you're right. Proof is whether Trump takes action as the U.S. president. I agree. Freeman King, we Jews are amazed with the ease the American people have allowed us to take over their country. Rosenthal. I know. But remember, don't blame just the Jews, okay? This has been a thing with the Vatican. This has been a thing with Luciferians. This is the way things work all the time. You always have these smaller groups inside the larger groups that are a problem. I mean, I'm white, but I'm not a racist. But they'll try to peg me as a racist just because I'm white. You see how that works? So don't overgeneralize. That's a very dangerous thing to do. I guess North Korea has been launching some missiles. I don't know how serious that is at this point. If it's pointed towards Japan, that ain't good. Okay, so there are problems, but they might see, maybe they're seeing that, oh, Trump is actually waking up to the fact that we've been tricking him. We've been playing his egotistical personality against himself, and now he's realized that we've done that, and so we need to take a more offensive approach. See, all these things could enter in. You just don't know. Okay. Sexy 702 Latina. Oh, I know who you are. I'll bet. She says, hi, Roy. Met you at Bundy Ranch. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm Little Dog's wife. I know who you are. Oh, hi. Yes, I do know who you are. I hope you all are happily married and everything's going well. Yes, I remember you very, very well. If you remember, we took some pictures together, right? We did. Yeah. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I won't tell you much about her, ladies and gentlemen, but let's see how. I guess I can't say that now because then I'd be fingering her. But there were a lot of good people at Bundy Ranch. A lot of good people. both, as I've said before in other videos, active and retired military, active and retired law enforcement, state representatives. We even had, I think it was, I always get this confused. I think Chuck Baldwin was there too, Pastor Chuck Baldwin, and maybe, I'm not sure about this one. I won't say the other one because I'm not certain that the other one was there. But anyway, a lot of good people were there, and they tried to peg us all as domestic terrorists when they were. It was. Now we find out how Harry Reid was involved, not just in what was going on at Bundy Ranch and the stealing of the land for the Chinese, but also that he was intimately involved in this coup against President Trump. He's the domestic terrorist. You notice how they always accuse you of what they are. And Hillary, same thing. She's saying this about Trump now. Trump needs to go to prison, lock him up, lock him up. Did you hear that last night? So now they're all doing that same kind of thing. They're the real criminals. They really are. And this divide in this country is going to continue. I just hope that the good people wake up and really latch on to the law of God that's being sent to us, and that we align ourselves accordingly. Okay. Tina for Q. Now, she'll say Trump has always been awake and working in the background. Well, you don't compromise on the Bill of Rights if that were the case, Tina. I'm sorry. I don't think you're right. He may have realized things. I think he weakened with the pressure. Something happened. He's never done anything on the First Amendment, even to this day, to protect it. A lot of talk there. And he actually attacked the Second Amendment. Now, I'm hoping that all that's going to be reversed at this point, but we'll see. Yeah, Janet, we the people, it could be just drama. That's why I say we're going to watch it. But and yeah, a circus act maybe, but we'll see. I detect a sincerity in these two tweets from Trump that I haven't detected before. Do you realize that by him saying this, if he doesn't do anything, he's opening himself up to real criticism from the people, not just political discourse, not just political disagreement. Okay, but actually people turning on him, really turning on him, if he goes back on what he said now. And maybe that's going to happen. I don't know. But I detect that something else is going on here. It's just a gut feeling. It's in my gut that something has really changed in Trump. He's finally realized what this is about. Not that he didn't know before, but he just thought he was so powerful he could either fix it or he could placate us and lead us into this horrible place. But I think something's happened. I don't know what it is, but something's happened. Oh, I agree. And Donald J. Trump, you're using it. Nice words, but we've had nice words many times already. We need tangible action, I think is what he said here. Sorry, I lost you. It jumped. This thing will do that. No, I agree. I'm not saying that we can just trust him without verification. I'm not saying that. I've never been like that. We need tangible and swift action. Absolutely. That's why I say some people need to be in bracelets right away. I like this. You're giving me a little too much credit, Fomenting Discord, but you say, God bless Roy Potter and Alex Jones. Alex does a 30-year body of work, 40 documentary films, including exposing what the rulers who disparage his claims to be against what his detractors done for us. Yeah, our USA. I agree. And I feel that way. I get upset at Alex, but he really is kind of been the fulcrum point on a lot of this. Yeah, K2 Daniels, why are Hillary and Barry not in jail? Well, here we are. Okay, I agree. Hello in Canada, Claudia. Shadow Wolf, he hasn't impressed me yet. I do not trust him or any. Oh, no. I agree, Shadow Wolf. I'm not saying I trust him. I'm saying I think that this is a defining moment, is what I'm saying. I think he's finally realized what he's up against. Because we've been telling him. I told him 2 years ago that if he didn't take action right away, seize the initiative is what is called in the military, that they would eventually get him and his family and his followers completely. Maybe something's happened where he finally realizes, hey, they're going to play for keeps. They're going to take me out. Even if he was on their side, right? What I said a few minutes ago. I'm not saying I trust him 100%. I'm saying I sense that there's been a change. I can feel it in my gut in the way that he phrased these two tweets and the way Kamala Harris reacted to it, telling Twitter that they need to suspend him because they can't put up with this. They can't put up with him telling the truth. And that's really what she's saying. Josh, and you're right. It does take time to get the information to start the prosecutions. He's addressing Donald, saying it takes 2 years to prosecute a dude. Get real. Not really, but I know what you're saying. Things take time to build. But see, my point is that a lot of this was known right up front, and it was put down by the FBI and the DOJ and kept underneath. Judicial Watch. Barr doesn't need anything but what Judicial Watch has already done. Substantiate that information, and he's got it all laid out. He could have put somebody in bracelets by now. I'm sorry, but that's true. I think, as I've always said, Barr's real intent was to save the institutions and to cover things up. And I use Ruby Ridge as an example, one of several. Okay, what he did there. So I don't trust Barr, but we'll see, okay? We'll see. Yeah, government is a lot like Hollywood actors. And I think you're right about this. Everything is opposite. He says, or she says, I'm not sure which it is. If the media is angry, you know Trump is doing the right thing. And yeah, I mean, that could all be a play too, but this time I don't think so. I think that they sense that Trump is finally awoken, or at least showing that he's awake. And they're upset about it. No, I'm not going to trust the plan, Justice. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. Quit giving up. Red flag law was just all talk. No, I'm afraid not. How can you say it was all talk? Look what they're doing in Florida. Look what they're doing in California. Look what they're doing in Illinois. Look what they're doing in New York. It's not all talk. Trump waved that on. Okay, he's responsible for where these red flag laws have gone. I don't want to hear this stuff about, trust the plan. There is no plan. Okay, I'm very upset with this whole Q movement, and anybody that's followed me should know that. I supported it first until I found out they didn't know what they were talking about, and they didn't. Okay, I don't mean to attack you, but I'm just going to tell you, okay, this red flag law was a very bad thing, and Trump started that train down the road. That's a real bad plan if he did. Now, this whole thing in Congress, could still go ahead. I don't know. They've got a draft law there. Yeah, of course, he'd still have to sign it, but he said he would sign it if it came to his desk. Has he had a change of heart? That's what I'm saying. Maybe. But there is no plan, buddy or lady, whoever you are. That's not the case. Okay. Now, Rick Holbrook, don't tell me to take the Trump pick down, okay? I guess you're saying that I'm being blocked by that. Not substantially. Okay? Not substantially. What I'm having to do is look at my computer here. I mean, if I was really out of the picture, that'd be one thing, but okay. I appreciate you trying to help me to direct the show, but I'm not going to take the Trump picture down. No, I'm not going to do that this time, all right? Okay. Let's see where we are. How long have we been going? Oh, we've been going almost an hour. Yeah, Trump needs strong prayer warriors around him daily. I don't trust I'll have to be honest with you. I do not have much faith in the ministers that he keeps around him. I don't. By and large, they're 501c3 type people, and I don't trust them. They're not going to tell him really what God thinks, like I do in this video that I'm telling you about that I want to put up. Now, I don't want to say that I'm the end all and that I have some illusions of grandeur of God, but I have an understanding of the scriptures and the political climate and the history. Okay, for a lot of reasons. I've studied these things for too many years. I could tell you a lot more about why, but they're not good advisors to him on the spiritual side. They're just not. So as I said, maybe we'll talk and put this thing up. Okay. Yeah, and John Clark, I'm not disagreeing with that. Trump was the global elite's agenda to cause chaos. If he is either assassinated or impeached, that would start a civil war. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That's why we need to keep our wits about us. That's why we need to be prepared. That's why we don't need to jump into anything. But I see this, like I said, as a sign that maybe Trump has repented, that he finally understands what's at stake, really at stake. Truth always. Again, I'm not going to take the Trump picture down. The Trump, Oktok, you say that the Trump is Cyrus analogy is a lot of crap. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. In my estimation, see, I'm not looking at it as an absolute. I'm looking at these things as what they call types and shadows. In other words, parables, examples, history repeats itself, that kind of thing. I'm not saying that it's anything other than that, but I do see parallels. I do. And if you had studied as well as I have, you would see those things, okay? I'm not saying that it's an absolute. I'm saying they're types and shadows. They're examples. They're metaphors. They're similarities. Okay. Yeah, Josh, other states are following his lead. You mean as far as the red flag laws? Yeah, I know. See, that was the danger. And he gave that pass. And I came down hard on him for it, and so did a lot of some people stopped believing in him at that point. Seriously, huge numbers of people just dropped him. And I won't give you names of them, but they were pretty significant people. And they said he can't be trusted. And I understand. Okay? Is he trying to get us back at this point with another placation? I sense something different this time. I really do. Potter is still a joke. You know what, Mark? Sumner, I don't mind free speech, but I'm not going to handle that. I'm not going to allow that to stay here. If you're just gonna call names and do stuff like that, you don't even need to be here. K. Smalls, if you're here, Liza Jean Williams, Roosevelt, you guys are my moderators when you're around. Feel free to toss people that can't say anything but an attack and an accusation. What's this? I straighten crooked pictures on people's walls. Half a Roy is a dyslexic challenge. In other words, I'm being covered up by my pictures on the side, which is what some people here have been trying to say. I understand that. I just consider that these things are just so important. I tell you what I do. I will shrink this down more. Okay, how's that for you? See, the problem is my computer's right there too. See, so the picture really isn't, removing the picture isn't going to help much because my computer's right there. You see how that works? Okay. So just go along with me here, okay? Just go along with me here. Okay. This is interesting. Brutus Thunderhand, Trey Smith, Jonathan Clark, Kim Clement, Sadhu Selveridge, and many more have said as much about POTUS Trump. Yeah, I know. I don't want to disparage any of these people because they've all done a lot of good work. Okay, I'm very familiar with these folks. Not so much Sadhu Selveridge, but the others that you've mentioned, I'm very familiar with them. Kim Clement came real close. Now, I know a lot of people have some disrespect for him, but then people like Trey Smith have a lot of respect for him. One of the things that's mentioned, of course, is that he prophesied basically that Trump would be president, and then he also prophesied that there would be this impeachment thing that would fail. And so far in those two situations, he's been correct. Okay, and Trey Smith gives him due credit. However, there's another side to that prophecy that Trey Smith never discusses, and it's that Bill Gates will save the country economically. Well, I don't believe that's ever going to happen. And as a matter of fact, things have progressed to where Bill Gates has gotten worse. He's talked more about the vaccine thing, the depopulation thing, the stratospheric aerosol injection, where they want to put, lead now in the skies and things like that. So Clement was only half right, and you can't be a true prophet and be half right. No dispersion on Kim. I think, but sometimes the devil will do that, and I don't want to say that he was influenced by the devil. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes our own concepts, even when God gives us an insight, our own egotistical personality will interject in there at some point and embellish things a little bit, not necessarily even intentionally. So I'm not finding fault with Kim. I'm just saying that there's a problem there. Okay, so I don't throw my hat in his ring totally. Okay. Yeah, I don't even talk about Q. Q to me is just, I saw how it worked. I know what it is, and I don't need it. Okay. I hope you all understand that. Yeah, no wall in Mexico. Really, truth always. Interesting. Yeah, I know he keeps talking about that, but I guess there is some area there that's been at least repaired. I was in Arizona. Was it Arizona? Yeah. Yeah, southeast of Nogales, and the wall just ended, and there was nothing except a few places some barbed wire, and in other places those tank barriers, which anybody could walk through, or you could even move them with a good truck, or a car, move them so you can get through. Yeah, it's a joke down there. It really is. Yeah, again, Storali, I understand. A lot of bad events have happened under Trump's watch. The Las Vegas 1 October and others. I totally agree. And then him not coming out and really telling us what's going on. Yeah, no. See, I understand that, and I've come down on all of that stuff. If you've been following me, you know. I think I need a drink of coffee. I'm getting dry mouth. That's what happens when you have a big mouth and you talk too much. Okay. Fomenting Discord, Trey Smith is amazing. Love that guy. Have all of his... Yeah, he's done great work. I wanted to talk to him at one point in time. I talked to his producer, but Trey would not talk to me. I'm a little too notorious, too infamous, have too many what he would consider to be unchristian baggage, which it isn't. It's really funny about Trey. He supports all these things about Israel. He goes overboard on Israel. Really, but he didn't understand where I was coming from. All right, whatever. Yeah, John Clark, I know, and I'm not saying you're not right. I'm saying that this offers us a chance to further define this division. What John Clark says is, "Don't be fooled. Trump will not stop this beast that has already risen." That God said in His book. Oh, I realize that, but prophecies are never absolute. Okay, Nineveh is a perfect example, and you know the story of Nineveh, right? So if the country can turn around and truly repent, then a different path will be taken. Okay, so it's not absolute. It's dependent upon our hearts and minds and how we receive the truth or reject it. So I know the beast made war with the saints and prevailed, right? Yeah, I understand that. I've talked about that before. And I'm not saying that can be averted. We're still killing babies. We're still stealing their organs. Right? We're still fighting unjust wars. We're still having a government that represents us that we allow to do illegal and immoral things. Yeah. So I'm not saying this is going to be a fix-all. I'm saying it's a glimmer that Trump himself might have finally realized the situation. And I look at the nations as being... there could be a refuge nation at some point, be it Russia, be it maybe the United States if it repents. I don't know, but there will be some place in the world where God's law will still be there, because all the world will come to war against it. Some people say it's Jerusalem. Well, there's some indications that might not be the case. That may have been metaphorical. We'll see. Okay, we don't have all the answers. What's most important is that we are on the right side individually, that we choose the right side. We can't really affect the big picture, right? But we can affect our own lives, as you often heard it said. Be that change you want to see in the world, and be damned the world. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Lorraine George. Yeah, like I say though, my computer's right here, so it wouldn't be a whole lot of good to do too much of that. Plus, I'm in a different place. I did usually in a situation in a studio, marks on the floor where show you the limits of how far you can walk and get out of the screen, out of the screen and all that. And I didn't do that today, and I apologize. But again, last night I just couldn't wait until this morning to get up and talk about these tweets from Trump. Sexy 702 Latina again. Hello. She says banned from Twitter for our work on the border. Yes, I know. I hadn't seen you for a while because I used to watch you and Little Dog, so yeah, I understand that. It's really been interesting. They haven't banned. Well, they've taken down a few of my YouTube videos and said I did it when I didn't, and of course they've been censoring my numbers and those things. But see, I don't care. They could throw me off YouTube today and I wouldn't care. I have no monetary involvement there. I'm not monetized. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for fame or whatever. I just wanted to make an impact. I just wanted to speak my mind. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't silent, so that nobody could accuse me of being silent in the face of this. And I've already done that. So really, everything from here on out is gravy as far as I'm concerned. Red House was red last night. I'm not sure. You probably lit up red. I hope it wasn't to celebrate China. Remember how Obama lit it up with the LGBTQ colors? God, I hope Trump didn't light it up because of the Chinese anniversary. That would be bad. Vereen cursed. Roy, you were threatened or something. Oh, ha, 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 ha. That's been going on for a long time. When I first testified against the Brigadier General when I was in the Army, I've talked about that before on my first false flag situation. Bad things happened there. Bad things happened both by the Utah state government and the Mormon church, real threats and things. Bad things happened when I was in the Franklin cover-up investigation. I've even been... That's interesting too. If any of you know, I worked. It was just on the periphery, but I did have a little to do with Senator John DeCamp's investigation into the pedophile sex trafficking situation that he was investigating. I did have not a significant part, but definitely a part to play in that. Received some problems with that. And a whole lot of other things, but when I came out against the Boston governmental story on the Boston bombing, they really came after me. They really did. They caused me a lot of grief, and I'd like to get into some of the details of that, but I won't. But it was pretty serious, and then of course after Bundy Ranch, it was terrible. I mean. It was. I mean, they had people on me all the time. I had, the kind of ladies that I like. The curvaceous blue-eyed blondes. I like redheads too. I like all of them, but several times they had those honeypots come in, and one even admitted it to me that she was. I still invited her to dinner. She didn't accept. People following me around. I had my car. Somebody took a lot of bad things. But here lately, what you're referring to is what Monty's talking about. Because I stood up for Monty back in 2017 and 2018 with the accusations without evidence that were made against him, I could see what was going on. I had been told to get in touch with him by a law enforcement officer. So, it wasn't any kind of a pedophile ring like people have been trying to say. I thought I was friends with people in Able Danger. Something happened there. I don't know what it was. And then several of the Q followers and Field McConnell followers and supposed Christians who thought that I was bad-mouthing Christians, which even if I were, you don't threaten to kill people. I mean, that's what they did to Hypatia. Hypatia was a very intelligent, beautiful woman back about, I think it was about 300 AD, 200 AD, right in there. She was in charge of the library at Alexandria before it was destroyed. And the Christians killed her because she was a pagan. She didn't believe in Jesus, so they killed her. Now, they were zealot Christians. They were really bad people using Christianity as a cover for their criminality. And a lot of people still do that. And yes, I've been, this particular guy said Potter's a dead man. And that wasn't the only time he did it, but at that point in time, Monty and Agent 19 said, okay, you want to play hardball, we're going to find out who you are, and we're going to call your work. And I made a report to my local police department, and that's on hold right now. This guy said he was going to back off and said he was sorry. Well, he better continue that, because at some point in time you got to take action. But yeah, that's true. But I'm in a constitutional carry state. You don't want to mess with me, okay? You really don't. And I've got friends, cops, military guys, and they're all armed to the teeth. So anybody who wants to do that, bad idea. Bad idea. Few fervov. Dude, you missed the whole story. You need to shut down until you understand the enormity of what has been happening behind the scenes in the legal preparation and protection of our Constitution. All right. I don't understand the whole story. Where have you been? I've not seen you before. I know a lot more than you think. All right. But I don't believe government authority. I don't believe it when they say things. You'll say, well, how come you believe Trump? Well, I'm detecting, as I said, something that's changed in him possibly. Okay? The enormity of what's happening behind the scenes, I very well understand how to put cases together. I understand the investigations that need to go on and all of that. Okay, so don't tell me that. I did it for 28 years. All right? People like Tom Fitton, ex-FBI directors, assistant directors, law enforcement people, military intelligence people all agree with me, okay, that there's no reason why significant arrests shouldn't have been made already. Don't tell me I don't understand the enormity of what has to happen. You have no idea. So that's the kind of accusation that's really baseless. You don't want to hear about it because you think that you're going to be saved, that somebody else is going to save you. I'm going to tell you again, okay? Most of these people are out to save the institutions. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. And if you think otherwise, you're fooling yourself. We're inundated with these traitors and these seditionists. I just hope that, truthfully, Trump has actually awakened. Yeah, the two-party paradigm is nonsense. I agree. The left-right paradigm is false. It's a game they play. I know. The Q thing, Josh, don't back up. Don't use what Trump is doing now as, the Q thing is finally going to happen. You guys were wrong a long time ago about Jeff Sessions, about Ray, about all of this, okay? Don't tell me about that. I don't want to hear about Q. All right? I mean, that's all I'm going to say. I have no respect for the Q movement. I mean, I don't care if people want to use it as a source of information, like ABC, like you're using CNN, like you're using Fox News, whatever. Hell, they've been more accurate than Q has. Come on, man. Q's done a lot of damage. A lot of the threats that I received and the good patriots have received have been from Q people who have threatened to do these things to us because we wouldn't follow their and I'm going to call it, it's a cult. What you're doing here is a perfect example. You haven't quite gone as far, but there is no plan. Trump has been, it was learn as he goes, if he's learning at all, and I think he finally has. This isn't all part of the plan. Okay, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, and I think that's good enough. Let me just spin down here real fast. Finest planet, yes, thank you, I agree. I did direct message President Trump, as you said, what you wrote on Twitter last night. Pretty shocked to see you posted so late. I knew this was important. He needs everyone to pray. You need our prayers too. Oh, thank you. You know, I'm willing to give him a chance. Like I said, I feel something in my gut that something's changed in Trump. I believe it has. I'm not going to take my eyes off of him. As I said in a video before, you know, I support him because he is the president, and what they're doing to him is wrong because they're doing it to us. But I watch him out of the corner of my eye, all right? His infringement on the Second Amendment was real serious. That was a serious, as we say in the Army, what's your major malfunction? When somebody screws up. When I saw that, I really worried. That more than anything else, and his failure to act in protecting the First Amendment with all the followers that have gone through and had horrible things to him, and his actions against Assange, Julian Assange. There's no reason for him to deny Assange, and I liken that to Peter denying Jesus. That's how serious it was. So yes, but let's watch and see what happens. Josh, yeah, okay, right, okay. Well, I'm not even going to address you. I'm glad you feel that way, but I already know too much about it to fall for the Q thing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. Otto Poshner, Roy, don't get your hopes up. He's not going to do anything. Hope you don't end up in a padded cell this time. I know, it really gets me upset, doesn't it? I agree, I know. I wear my heart out on my sleeve a lot of times. I know, I do. And you might be right, but I think something's changed, okay? Let's watch and see. Let's watch and see. Freeman King, you don't know much about my Q background, do you? He says we should be sophisticated enough to take in all info. You just don't know, do you? So you think that I'm just casting it off without a thought. You don't understand. I was there at the beginning. I saw exactly what happened. Okay? I mean, even the digital information. Okay? They're not who they say they are. If you want to use it for information, that's fine. But I can get information that's a lot more credible. Okay? And I don't waste my time with cults. Okay? I went through that phase and I don't do it anymore. Okay? So sorry, Freeman King. I don't mean to burst your bubble, and I don't suppose I will. But, that's the thing about cults. People follow them out of necessity because they just have to be right. They just can't believe that they can be misled. Q is being led by leftist Marxists. That's who runs it. You don't want to believe that? Well, we have the proof, okay? We've already put it out there. We already know who did it. It was under the auspices of Hillary Clinton. She's the one that controlled it. Or her minions. And you don't want to believe that? That's fine. Look at Patriot soapbox. I hate to point at people. You want to follow those guys? No, thank you. Okay, let's see what else I can go through here real quick. I'm almost at the end of it, looks like. Shills? And you're talking about me fomenting discord? I'm a shill? See, you don't know my background, or if you do, you want to say stuff like that. Yeah, firing Flynn was bad, especially now we find out that Pence may have lied about what Flynn told him. Do you know about that? Do you know that I know about that? Politics is a dirty war. It's a dirty game. Don't say that I'm a shield, though. I've proven myself over the last 40 years in a lot of ways. Okay, I'm almost at the bottom here. Let me see. Yeah, Trump has not truly investigated 9/11. He's not declassified. The declassification that we heard that he ordered was only for Barr. Okay, he never actually wrote an order to declassify anything, and the DOJ refused to release that information. We were all led to believe that it was being declassified, but he never signed the order. All he did is say Barr has the right to declassify anything. So it wasn't just a mistake in the way it was interpreted. It really was misleading. Okay, it really was, and I'm upset at him for that. He's already investigating 9/11? Jeez. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. I'm not going to go there. He could have declassified the 9/11 thing a long time ago. And he said he was going to, right? He said he was going to declassify JFK, and he didn't do it all. No. Trump has had a problem, but I'm hoping that now he's on board. Okay. The people are saying, where are all these trolls coming from? Okay, I'm gonna rush down. I don't want to keep us any longer. Again, if you're wondering why we're here, it's because Trump has finally admitted that he sees that they're really after our rights, after our children, after our. It's not just an impeachment on him; it's a coup, and not against just him, but against the country. Go look on Twitter, or you can see it on the on my program here at the beginning. And I'm going to go ahead and go, yeah, talk about Steve Pachinik. I can do that. He talked about this being a CIA coup against the president. Yes. CIA, yeah. And other people have said that as well. Dan Bongino said it was an intelligence community hit on Trump. Steve Pachinik is saying that this is even more serious than what we've seen in the past. And I totally agree. And that's why I think Trump has had a reversal. That's why I think he's had a gut awakening, because what we're in now is serious. People say, oh, they can't do impeachment. I heard a MAGA coalition say, well, they can't do this because, it would reveal security procedures, etc., that they don't want to reveal in Congress. No. I'm sorry, I disagree, MAGA coalition. I totally disagree. A lot of those things they could hold in secret, a lot of those meetings, and plus it really wouldn't stop them. So no, I don't agree with that. I appreciate MAGA Coalition and a lot of things that they do, but there have been a couple things that I've had to disagree with them on. And that's the nice thing about being intelligent, people that use facts and understanding of the system, is that there's some things you can disagree on and still not, be at each other's throats. Steve Pachinik is pure CIA. Don't trust him. Well, who said that? Rick Thorne. And I've said that before. Steve Pachinik is not just a spook. He's also a psychiatrist. Two things you ought to be very careful of. But he's right on the line this time. He's absolutely right when he says that this is a CIA coup against the president. There's no doubt about that. Look at Dan Bongino. He's coming up with the same thing. Yeah, Gina Haspel should never have been put in there. She should be out right now. She's behind the changes in the whistleblower forms. She was in London during the initial part of the Russiagate deal. Yeah, she's dirty, and she should never have been put in there. She's a Brennan puppet. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, so the question I have for you now, let me tell you a little bit about the other video. It's about 30 minutes long. I did it yesterday at a pond, and I talk about some of the things that some people have been bringing up here. But I go a little further, and I'll just be honest about it. I address how dangerous the LGBTQ thing is. Not that people can do it in the privacy if they want to, but the fact that it's being promoted. And now pedophilia, right? They're trying to promote pedophilia. And also things like, the drag queens and all that. Those are plagues that will bring judgment upon us. And it's to disarm us at a very basic level of understanding when we're in danger. It's to interfere with our fight or flight instincts. I talk about that. And I talk about how that same plague is in the movement and the leftist Marxists in the government, that they're now not hiding what they're up to. It's out in the open for all to see if you're willing to admit it. They're not denying any of it anymore, from wanting to shut your speech, to taking away your weapons, to having control of your children, to taking your land, to taking your bank account. It's all out in the open now. Okay, so what happens when it's out in the open? That's what I talk about. I talk about that relationship between what's happened with the LGBTQ thing and now pedophilia as well, and the killing of babies, all the way to the leftist Marxists now, opening up and showing what they're really about. The division is happening, and it's a solid division. There's no question about what's happening. If you have any integrity in your heart and mind, in your soul, you see the difference, and you need to act accordingly, and that's what I talk about. And I call Trump out on that, okay? It was before I saw this tweet, from these two tweets from last night. So this, what I put together was prior to. It was probably about 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon I did that, and he didn't tweet. That's my time, and he didn't tweet those things out until 8 o'clock my time. Actually, it was 6 o'clock my time, so it was while I was finishing up on that. So what do you think? Should I put it up? Everybody, some people said, yeah. No, Travis Garrison, you're wrong. The Lord is talking about Son of Righteousness, used to be Son. It has been supernatural. No. I'm afraid not. In the original Hebrew, it is Shemesh. Okay, it's not Ben. It's not Ben Adam. It's not Ben Elohim. It's Shemesh. No. Ben is son in Hebrew, and that's not what it's talking about. We're talking about Malachi, where it says, and God shall send the sun with healing in its wings. It's talking about Shemesh. It's talking about that the sun will make be a transmitter of some type. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. I've studied this stuff. I studied it in Hebrew, for crying out loud. All right, no, it wasn't changed. That's exactly what it's all about. But you're getting me off the subject. So, Liza Jean Williams. Oh, you are here, Liza Jean. Hello. I know. I'm sorry. I should tell you all, moderators, when I'm coming on. But this was kind of last minute thing. When you see the whole thing, you'll understand Liza Jean is because of Trump putting up those two tweets last night about him. Obviously he finally realized it's not just an impeachment thing; it's a coup. This really is trying to overturn the country. That's really, and he says that, and that's what this has been about. So most of you are saying, put up your video. Go ahead and do it. It's going to create a firestorm. I'm telling you. No, Travis Garrison, you're wrong. No. He says the word sun, Roy, is referring to Zeus. Roy is not awake as he... No. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you here. It's Shemesh. It's in Malachi. Malachi means my angel, my messenger. No. I don't know where you're getting that. But we're not going there. So you all want me to put it up. That's what they see. Get them out. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I should. The reason why I'm not going to be upset at him is because he's at least presenting an opinion that he can offer some evidence for. Okay, his evidence is faulty, but but I'm not going to throw him off for his opinion. That's not name calling. That's not reason enough to throw him off. I'm not going to do that. And I appreciate the fact that he's willing to talk about it, but right now that's not the time. Okay, that's not what we're about. Do I put this other thing up? Most everybody is saying yes. Okay. Well, okay. So the consensus apparently is that I should go ahead and put the video up. And yeah, I will separate the video. Yeah, it'll be a separate upload. It's not going to be part of this. Okay, just so you know. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you, Eliza Jean. Yeah, I can leave it up and then take it down. Yeah, maybe. Well, once I put it up, though, I already know it's going to cause a firestorm. I already know it is, because people are going to say, well, you just said that Trump was, they're not going to listen to this video. And then when they do hear it, because it'll be put up it'll actually show like it went up before this, because it is. It just hasn't been published yet. It's unlisted at this point. But at any rate, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And let's hope that, we understand this division, that we choose the right side. Trump has a lot of people out here that will run to help him save the republic. But you're right. He's got to be the competent authority that acts. The Bushites say that he needs to be removed from being the commander-in-chief over the military. They don't make it sound like they're trying to make it sound like it means just that he won't have control of the military. Well, no, they mean to take him out. Okay, that's what they mean. So, but he needs to continue down this line and get more aggressive and seize the initiative again if he hasn't totally lost it. And it may be too late. But better late than never, as far as I'm concerned. So that's where I sit. And what is it named? It's named A Message to President Trump. That's what it is. And that's really what I made it for, was to him, to call him to repentance. And maybe that's already happened. Maybe just me feeling like I had to make that video last night was because I felt that there was this spiritual message that he's already been given that. That's a possibility, and the reasons why. Okay, so I'll put it up. I'll wait until this is fully processed. So it'll probably take, usually on these live streams, there have been some problems with YouTube. It might be an hour or two, or it might be right away, I'm not sure. But as soon as this is fully processed and up, then I will put the other one up. And it's called Message to President Trump, and goes through about 3 points. Okay? All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I appreciate you being here. And, I really kind of enjoy the nightcap thing, the late night stuff. And I plan on doing some other things with that show, possibly. Not just news information, but some other things I'm hoping. We'll see how that progresses. I was really surprised at the number of views I got. Normally I don't pay attention to that, but I was kind of curious about who's up late at night. I was kind of floored about how many. I figured I might get a couple hundred, and that was way higher than that, which was really something as far as I was concerned. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here now. Again, thank you for being here. We'll see you next time, and I'm going to just play the intro again, just to kind of, check out here at this point. Thank you for your support. Thank you for those of you who want to who agree to disagree, who will have an opinion that you can back up even if we don't agree. I appreciate that. And no, I won't throw you off for that. Only name calling and being nasty, those types of things. Okay? All right, till next time, make sure that you look at that Twitter again from Trump. You can send him this if you want. Send him the next one, and I get it up. He needs to see that, I think. Maybe I'm full of it, but I think I hit the nail on the head with it as to why this plague has happened to him and why it's gotten worse. First of all, because he showed weakness at the beginning. If he wasn't complicit and a placater, and I've given that as a possibility, but these other things that he's done definitely caused the plague to come. And the plague is the overthrow of this government, okay, and the changes that we're seeing in the people to make them degenerate, Okay? So, at any rate, I'll just leave it there. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless Donald Trump, if he'll listen. All right? Okay, out here for now.